Well, boys and girls, it's almost Seadoo time again. And I don't know if some of you may remember this Seadoo. This is the one that sank and was underwater for almost a week. And we brought her back to life. Ben put quite a few hours onto it since it's been here last, but now it's having an issue where he says it doesn't want to rev over 6,000 when it's on the water. So I just brought it home here. He brought it up to me rather. Right away the battery was down a little bit. I got HP tuners hooked to it here. I did a scan on the system, and the only thing we had was a barometric pressure code, which I believe was just caused from some of the water residue after it sank the first few times he ran it. So that code wasn't really a red flag to me. But basically I charged the battery up, I cleared the codes, and it revs fine here on the trailer with no load on it. Seems to be boosting. When I put it in sport mode and give it a quick jab, it's showing me half boost on the gauge. So anyway, we are going to conduct a fuel pressure test. And to do this, it's not too hard of a job, but first of all, you want to take this fitting off, because this is all plastic. You don't want to break none of this gear. And you got to get this little prick fitting off that fuel line so you can put an inline T in and conduct a fuel pressure test with a normal gauge, because there's no service port in these. So essentially, this is our main line coming into our T. We're going to put a pressure regulator here, or pressure tester, and then we're going right into the fuel rail. Right off the bat, huge safety precaution when you do this. Every time you take this line off, you're going to lose fuel, which is going to go down into that belly pan. So the first thing I'm going to do before I even think about starting this up is I'm going to unhook the water hose from the back. I'm going to run some water inside the belly pan and just try to flush everything out back these back drains. That way we have absolutely zero risk of fire or explosion. So anyway, I'm curious to see what the fuel pressure is going to be at. I believe for this machine it calls for 58. It kind of fluctuates when it's idling. You don't really go by the idle state. You go by once there's some load on it. But basically what this machine's doing and not throwing any codes, I really want to see what this fuel pressure's at, because this machine has, I believe, 211 hours on it. So it's getting up there. So I'll get this belly pan washed out, make sure there's no fuel in there, and we'll do a start up and see what our pressure's running at. So I've got it all washed down. Next step is we're going to key it and just obviously keep an eye where we have 3 new clamps added to the equation. Make sure we have no fuel leaks here when you first start it up, otherwise it's going to spray and go in the belly pan again.